Awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and download the Red Eye Start again. And with this downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and upload it into my Photopea again. And again, we're back to our natural stuff with the red eye and these issues here. But what I want to show off is a few of these tools that we can work with. Let's see where this one's located. Sorry, one sec. There it is. All right. So if you remember from earlier when I did my background cutout with the woman's face, I was able to use the magic wand and I was able to cut out stuff from the background. But, excuse me, what happens if I get an issue like this where the background is very different and it's kind of hard to get everything cut out? If you see here, this background is really choppy and it's hard to cut everything out. I could undo everything and I could try using the lasso select tool and of course select and delete, but even then it gets kind of choppy and it might not be the best strategy. So what we could do instead is something called this magic cut. So if I go to select and I go down a little bit to this option called magic cut, I can select it here. And Magic Cut is a bit magical, as you can tell from the name. If you have three options at the top here, one is called background, which is in red. One is called foreground, which is in green. And the other is erase, which will just remove it from our image. And essentially what these do is you paint using these colors what the background and foreground is. So the foreground of our image, and while we're doing this, we have a live action feed on the right side of what's going on. Let me select the green foreground color, and let me just paint using my brush the woman's face here. As you can see here, you don't need to paint in the entire thing. If I just draw green on her hair, it actually brings her entire hair in. So this is a really neat tool, and I want to paint in green everything that I want to be kept inside of this image. So I want the woman to stay inside my image, and I also want the top of her head to be in there as well. So as you can see, it's a bit, and as you can see here, the red and green should never touch. So what I'm going to do is just use this red to erase it here, or excuse me, use the gray to erase the red. And I'm going to go back to my green and put a bit of her green up here, and now we'll notice that we have the lady back in. There's a bit of green on these items in the back, so I'm just going to go ahead and erase them. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my background paint color. I'm just going to drag the red up here and around here, and you'll notice I don't need to do the entire thing. I just need to do a few strokes of it, and it's able to delete the items from my background. Oh, that one didn't work out too well. So let's just try to do a bit of it at a time. It seems like this color is affecting the other color, so I might need to deal with that. Let's try to put a bit more green on her so that she's kept here. So this image might actually be a bit more tough than the other ones to work with. But as you can see, because I put more green on her, it knows what to keep, so it's not deleting her like it used to. Oh. Speaking of the devil. So down there it deletes her, and that's fine for right now. Let me do a bit more over here. Let me go down a bit more, and then maybe right here. Awesome. So essentially what this does is it creates this option for us to use these type of colors to cut out what we want and what we don't want from our image. So with the background over here, there's a few options here. You can make the background white or black if you want it to be a solid color, or you can make it transparent, which is usually what we want to do because we want to cut out the background so that this would work in a different type of scene. And over here, you'll notice that there's a few items to select from. If I choose selection, that will make a selection box around this lady's area that I picked out. If I use the raster mask, that will create a mask that we can use to edit. Or if we hit new layer, which is what I'll do here, it will create a new layer of this lady without the background. So now I have two layers to choose from, and one of them has the background cut out. So again, the way I did this is selecting my layer, going to select and magic cut, And that will allow you to use this tool and fiddle around with it in order to cut out the background. So if you have an image that you want to cut the background out of and you're kind of struggling doing it with the magic wand or other tools, try selecting magic cut and see if that will do it for you as well, as this will be helpful for some of the capstone images and stuff like that as well.